dollars eating shrimp by the dollar. Met some girls from Guatemala, now they trying to holler.
Now before they wouldn't bother, now I'm trying to be a scholar, cause she giving all the knowledge to me.
Knowledge to me.
Doing her work every night of the week.
Night of the week.
Like she chilling up at college with me.
College with me, but we cruising, man. Rolling up at 4:30. Kush same color as a Kobe Road jersey. Or a throwback worthy. Giraffe ass high. Fresh breeze just passing us by. Cause I'm cruising on a Sunday afternoon. I got my good shoes on. Ain't got no bad news. Here's what you say to the lady. Let me squeeze you. Oh, let me hold you. Oh, let me squeeze you. Oh, let me hold you. Why? Cause I don't wanna leave this party, baby, without you. What you waiting for? Hop in the ride.
Okay.
What you waiting for? Hop in the ride. So I arrive at a party at 9. I reside beside Sim. Think when we fly, time's on our side. But look again, then it's 11 p.m. Chalk it on the board. Time to sin. Let's begin. Hey, you kinda cute, and I got the loot to befriend both you and your girlfriend too.
You single Tim Jones?
Well, that depends. Just then she turned to a friend and she said,
I really like him.
Say word.
I really like him.
Oh yeah.
I really, 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 really like.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JCT Tv. I'm Papa T. To my left, you're right out there in TV land, have none other than the outstanding host and creator of Klock Hour, that sensational television and radio show. None other than Marv Kennel. How's it
Peace.
going today, brother?
It's going, man.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
It's always in motion.
Indeed. We want to give a great big salute starting out here for none other than the outstanding chief engineer, Big Al, in the back, making all of this magic happen that you see around us. We want to give a great big shout out to the rest of the JCT TV team. We also want to give a great big shout out to M&N televisions in New York City. There's always something fantastic happening in Waterbury, Connecticut, and New York City, and we're going to bring you some coverage of some of those events in between the operation of bringing attention to the subject matter of politics and reality. I have with me the outstanding one. You can look forward to him doing amazing things. He has a point of view that's legitimately his own.
That's it.
Right? And you can look forward to him doing some things in politics. I'm going to throw the subject matter over into his lap, and let's get it popping.
Well, we were talking a little bit about, like I see Obama speaking here lately to our people.
Okay.
I respect that. You know, really and truly, I kind of hold on to my opinions, but lately, seeing my brothers fall for the banana in the tailpipe is, and my sisters, is kind of frustrating because, you know, I'm going to come off of that real quick. I believe wholeheartedly, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately, we need to start our own political party. Stop playing with these people, man. You know, and what I mean by that is, let's get in line, man, and bring to order what we want. And okay, basically, if, like, I was an independent for a long time while I was even in the military, independent. So if that independent, you vote independently, that takes away from both parties because you're voting in the middle, knowing they don't have enough money behind them to get to where they need to be. That's why you only see the Republican and Democrats on the forefront, because if that independent, what was her name, Jill Stein, she was on the Breakfast Club recently, you know, and that takes away from either party votes. But that's just my thing, man. You get tired of, it's like, oh, you still in you. I hate to hear people say, oh, you still on the plantation. You're like, what?
Let me say this, because I believe that what you are bringing to the table is the reality of the situation of spoilers.
Right.
Because these people know that they can't win the election, but they figure they're going to draw votes from one side or the other.
Right.
Whoever their original agenda is.
Right.
Right. Now, that's a real reality. And the reality is this, right? We had one potential spoiler in there, Robert Kennedy. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, at this juncture, as it has been, probably in the last 2, maybe even 3 elections, there's only been Republican and Democrat. There hasn't been a liberal or a third party or anything like that. It's come down to, only you have a choice, Republican or Democrat as far as your president.
That's your choice.
Yeah,
Period.
isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
They always say there's 3 sides to anything, but in this case, they're not giving you the option. And the thing is, people are being bought out and people are being pushed to the side. But they're doing it voluntarily, obviously, because money talk, right?
Right.
So the reality is, how would you change it and how would you implement it so that the people are not so focused on just Democratic and Republican?
That's a good question. I really don't know. I just even if we got organized and sat in the middle and said, we're not voting for either one of y'all. Like holding our vote for hostage and formulated our own party, because they just showed you last election how important our vote was.
Indeed, always has
The
been.
people came out, but they convinced them, like somebody said to me, that last stimulus check was from
Nancy
this
Pelosi.
guy.
No, but it was actually, not to cut you off, it was
No.
actually from Nancy Pelosi.
Right. I
And
know
he-
that,
he
and
signed
you
it.
know that.
Yeah, but people think,
He
Trump
held
gave
it
me
so
some
he
money.
can sign it.
Yeah, Trump gave me some money. Trump didn't give you anything. He
Nothing.
cared less about you.
Nothing. And it was funny because I was like, you really believe that? That means you didn't take the time to pay attention. So I look at it like, okay, we did that. Let's do this. But, and also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the women are going to put this lady in office.
Well, so far the women are. Did you see the record-breaking donations that she had the first
Right.
week? And who did it?
Right.
The women organizations.
women.
So the women can actually make the difference and make
That's
the change.
why I said, I'm
but,
like,
but
yo.
one key thing before we leave and bring you some coverage from things outside of politics, hopefully, right? Is that you have a situation right now that we're built on that, okay, female, first of all, first female, first black, right? We know that Hillary should have been the first actual president, female president.
Right.
Right? Because she won that election by a landslide.
Right.
Right? So the thing is, we're still faced with the same situation, the Electoral College. When we come back, we're going to address that. We'll be right back. Hopefully you like this coverage and footage. Yeah.
Dance the streets, we ain't brought you up. Come on, come on, come on.
gentlemen, we are back on the platform of JCT TV, on the stage of JCT's The Few. With that being said, we have the outstanding host, once again, of the Klock Hour. We want you all tuning into that show every week. With that being said, we wanted to and ended up on the subject matter of the Electoral College. Brother, what strikes you when you just even hear that term?
That there's a select few, no matter how strong the popular vote is, there's a select few in every state in this country that can call that get to call that election, no matter how strong of a lead that the one individual has. Mm-hmm. That'll supersede what the popular vote was or is or gonna be. They use that as another way to win an election. That's the simplistic.
That's what hits you.
The simplistic form.
Okay, now let me say this, because they know that this is an issue. It happened in the election before the last one it shattered Hillary, right? I mean, you didn't see her publicly for a long time, but when you did get a glimpse of those of us who had the opportunity, she was like washed out, man, for a long time. She had to get her mind back right.
Right.
So the thing is, if a person has to get their mind back right about a situation or circumstance in America, because America is supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave, right?
Right.
So the thing is that since we are existing in a meltdown country, and when I say meltdown, I'm talking about the fact that everybody seems to be going through these mental challenges and so forth, not getting the treatment that they need or anything and so forth, right? How are we ever going to get our minds right to fix the Electoral College if we can't fix ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, anything that you overindulge in mentally and spiritually, it'll start doing something to you, to your mind.
To your mind,
yeah.
Okay.
Anything, like, if you engage in music all the time, and that's it. That's your conversation's limited to that. If you engage in politics, like I have to turn some of that off, because after a while you're like, who's right and who's wrong? Me and a partner of mine, we have these discussions, man, and I'll be like, okay, whatever. After a while, it doesn't amount to anything.
Gets you numb, sort of, toward the subject matter. So, but let me ask you this about that Electoral College, though. What, in your mind, your inner thoughts, because I know you don't share that with everybody, what would be your solution to fix that? Because that's the problem that we have now when it comes down to elections, especially
get rid of
elections. Get rid of it.
Exactly. Get rid of it.
Exactly.
And
bottom line,
right.
Get rid of it.
And there's people that talk about your vote don't count, your vote don't mean nothing.
They should shut up.
When they do that, we should put that Selma movie in their face. Mm-hmm. And think about this: when next time you're riding on the highway in the South, some of these people used to trek through them woods and stuff like that to get from point A to point B when the slaves were running. And at that Selma thing, they marched across that bridge all the way into Alabama, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Like, can you imagine that?
Oh, yeah.
We was using public transportation and our own vehicles and stuff. Imagine walking.
Yeah. Remember, I'm going to tell you a situation. I remember that they had this march because it was about an investigation that had went on about something horrific that they had done to a black male, right, from the perspective of law enforcement. And Sharpton, Reverend Jesse Jackson, a few of them marched from D.C. to the Capitol building in Albany. In the Capitol building, it's straight upstairs, in Albany, right?
See?
The governor's building. And when they got to the top, Pataki was in power at that
See?
time. Pataki told them he think it's noble what they did as far as that, but it's not changing nothing when it comes to laws and regulations of New York State.
Man, now wait a minute. did you say like from D.C.
From D.C.
to
Upstate
Albany?
New York, upstate New York, the capital, Albany.
Now, from where we at today, it'll take an hour and some change to get up there
From where we at by car.
by car.
Yeah, and that's going to taking shortcuts.
Right. So when people say, "Oh, I ain't voting," I'm not. What?
No, when people say that they're not voting, my thing is this. I've learned not to get upset with them.
Right.
Or not to even get disturbed or surprised. I just say to myself, at that point, I shut down all my listening and observant devices that this person is a no-count individual, right? That we may be able to discuss something else in life. We can't discuss politics. I don't want to hear nothing that pertains to the rights gained through politics, right? Or anything else. You have no say.
At one point, I was like, "Well, okay, let's see what happens." But then I saw that Project 2025.
Okay, I've heard about that and saw it on TV.
I was like, "Oh no, you're talking about pushing us back 50 years,
Yeah.
maybe even more than that."
Brother, remember that,
I mean, us.
yeah, there was lives lost. There was lives lost, people beaten, dog bit up by dogs and sprayed
Yeah.
by water hose. I don't know if any of these people ever played with the water hoses. I played with those things. Almost
Right.
died twice
Right.
as a kid when I'm in New York City. But the thing is that to have someone turn around and say they're not voting or the vote don't count, but they're reaping the benefits of those who do vote, that is so disturbing.
Right.
You understand? And the thing is, they have lost affirmative action through Trump. Right? And his Supreme Court delegations, right? But the thing is that that's diversity, equity, and inclusion, which means now you don't have a lot of the privilege as far as college and so forth that you had before. But yet you're taking people that come in from out of the country
Right.
and giving them these opportunities like you have never been at a disadvantage.
Nah,
And
we
still-
know what's happening. If they don't know, shame on them. I ain't even gonna mention it. They know what's happening.
But the thing is, I say to everyone, if you want to deal with this in a peaceful manner, go out and vote. That's the beginning of dealing with this in a peaceful manner. Go out and vote, use your voice, and put pressure on your local representatives who are representing you in Albany and in the White House to get rid of the Electoral College. It's useless and senseless. It makes no sense.
Well, you say in a peaceful manner. Those people don't do it in a peaceful manner.
No, and you're definitely correct. But the thing is, there's those of us out there that still says that this can be done in a peaceful manner. Even what's his name? The gentleman that got beat half to death with those Mick clubs out there and got that big settlement. May he rest in peace. I heard he passed away.
Rodney King?
Yeah. The one said after all of that right there, can't we all just get along?
Come on. Look, they beat that boy. They beat that boy something serious, man.
Merciless. And he still had that in his mind because that has been programmed
Man,
in there
that
from
wasn't in
over
his
400
mind.
years.
That was BS, man.
Isn't that incredible, though?
Man, come on.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
With
When
that
he
being
said that, I love like what?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get along with the concept of going over to some coverage, from the things that we achieve and accomplish in One American Connecticut and the 5 boroughs of New York City and state of New York. And we'll be right back.
As far as you say politics, people go crazy over politics and, you have this person leading, you have that one in power, and they're not in power. They're not in power over you. You're in power over you. You dictate how you feel. You dictate what you want to watch, what you want to listen to, what you want to eat. That person is just a title. Like we were speaking titles earlier. Yeah, they dictate some policies and that might affect you somewhat, but not like you think, especially if you're down here on the totem pole. It has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? What you really need to focus on is you and your community. Because, you know, they might be the president of the United States or the mayor of your city, but you might be the king in your village. You know, whether your village is 100 people or 10 people, worry about your village. Even if it's just 3 of y'all, you know, worry about your village. Get you an apple, that one an apple, and this one an apple, and enjoy your apples. You know, don't worry about if someone over there has 100 apples. Try to reach that. Use that as motivation. Don't be mad at them.
How'd you get them
know?
apples, yo?
Yeah, find out how they got them apples. You know, find out how they got them apples, and if they're willing to share that knowledge, be happy. If they don't be mad at them. Some people are greedy. They're selfish. Exactly. Get your apples and be happy. Yo, if you don't have any, just be happy with the ones you have, or, you know, try to get some. Like, that's the issue with our system and our society.
So, in summation, we can look at it like Papa T said a little bit earlier, you know, what you're putting, what you're feeding into your brain, that's probably more important. What you're doing in your immediate body and actions is more important than what somebody
What's
down
going on
and
out there, yeah, because it's
miles
not
and miles away.
you're not coming across it. You're not even coming in contact with it for real. You seeing it, but it's not the same. You've seen it on television. It's not in person. You'll probably never touch this person or breathe the same air as them or be around them or hear what they're hearing. So focus on what's going on around you, and hopefully you can reach a level where you can be around certain things, you know. So.
Well, as we dig deeper into the topics of eradication and cultivation, stay tuned here on JCT TV. This was King Bling and Jose.
Have a good one. Stay blessed.
Sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we're having a great time here today. We hope you're having a great time, too, because one thing that we want to always make sure that you're aware of out there is, like, let's, out the gate, always agree to be peaceful, even in our disagreements. But with that being said, back to Rodney King, back to not just Rodney, but some of the other things that you've seen, such as George Floyd, and there's so many other names, right? And the thing is this in life, you were talking about your own political party, right?
Right.
Now, I'm in total agreement with you on that right there. But the thing is this, that collectively the people have to come together within their own terms, right? You have the Chinese man, his name is Han Zhuang or whoever, right?
Right.
Jia Hao and the rest of that right there.
Right.
And then you have the Spanish man, his name is Jose Rodriguez.
Right.
Right? And yet you're still walking around carrying this man's name. You understand? Your slave master, those that continue to enforce inequities upon you. What needs to be done is you need to, and collectively as a country, the way the balance is and the way things is running, you don't need to disturb that balance. You need to just, through, as you've mentioned many times, through selective buying, and Martin has mentioned, if you're going to respect my principle, if you're going to respect my dollar, respect my principle.
Right.
And through selective buying, we can bring anything in line. We are the consumer.
Right.
Right? So the thing is that I'm in total agreement with taking a different stand on the way things are done. And those who operate outside the parameters of getting you together, because you can't help nobody else get themselves together till you get yourself together.
Because
shows you some self-love.
There is no way to hold the vote hostage this election. There's no way to do it.
No.
It's too late in the game.
And I wouldn't hold it hostage.
Right.
I would say I'm voting for the person that our party has put up there. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm voting for that person right there because the Republicans nominated a person. They delegated and they nominated a person and they selected a person, right?
And so we should do the same thing.
Exactly. You have to, if something is not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Get our own candidates and put up there because you have to support whoever's supporting you. Now, you looking at two people in this race right here. One person never did anything for you, right? And the other person threw you a few crumbs.
Right.
So who should you vote for? The person who threw you for a few crumbs.
Right.
You understand? Be
Because
for those
that's
who
all
are
they're
for
allowed
you.
to give.
Yeah, be for those who are for you. And stop kissing in and thinking that you're doing somebody a favor because you're not doing anybody a favor.
Right.
You're just bringing the earth itself closer to its final destination.
Right, because
Which is
if
dope.
you don't vote, somebody else will.
Exactly. Exactly. So the thing is, I believe in that right there, and I believe that you should definitely, and you have my support, in putting together a party and bringing that to the forefront, and hopefully getting other cities and states involved. And so at least by next election, if there is one, because you have people out there threatening that there's not going to be another election if they're put in office,
Right.
because they're ending that process, and they've come to realize through Obama's executive propositions and movements that through executive action you can do a whole lot of things as president.
Yeah. They paid attention to him.
Yeah. So the thing is, I'm going to ask you, what is one of the first things you would do if elected president of the United States of America, or if your party had put a person into office as president of the United States of America? What would you do?
I don't know, create a holiday.
Create a holiday?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a tricky question because, well, it shouldn't say tricky. I've never thought about it.
Okay.
I've never thought about it. Like, what would I do?
Yeah, my whole thing is this, and I've mentioned to you numerous times. What gets my vote is the person who is running on policy, issues, and platforms. There are people out here that don't even have a platform, don't even have issues, not even have policy. So in order to put together your own party,
Right.
you have to start right now from today writing out policies.
Right.
There's a thing in certain organizations and in this country that's called a constitution and bylaws. You have to create that.
Right.
You understand? And then you can move forward on